We just finished reading scriptures, and I wanted to share some thoughts that I had about miracles. Um, we were reading about Moses and how he helped the children of Israel through the power of God get out of Egypt. And it was huge. I mean, miracles left and right. Turning a staff into a snake, turning the Nile into blood, separating the waters and walking on dry land. Then the waters crashing down on the Egyptians. Then going through the wilderness, manna from heaven, everything, just blessings all over the place. They smote the rock, it turns and they get water. The Israelites are just seeing blessings everywhere, and yet still, as Moses goes up on the mount, they immediately forget all the blessings that they've received, and they build the calf. And it made me think, am I remembering the blessings that I've seen? Am I writing it down? Because so many times, like the children of Israel, I get lost. I get distracted. I felt very inspired of God to start sharing my story, to start sharing this journey that we've been on. And it's been hard. Like I mentioned, I started about 6 months ago shooting YouTube videos. And after spending way too much time editing and trying to perfect them, I decided to just record it and then put it up on YouTube. And sometimes within an hour of recording, I've got it up on YouTube and viewable. Because I don't edit. And someday I'll have the time to do that. But I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the miracles that we've seen. Earlier this last year, I guess it was the end of last year, our little boy, Ender, who was 3 years old, he got an infection. And it was one of those scary infections, okay? His testicles got really swollen, swole up to like 3 times its normal size. And we were scared, and we took him to the doctor, and the doctor's like, well, we don't know whether it's cancer or if it's everything can get twisted up, and then you have fluid buildup, and that could swell, and then that could cause some serious damage if we don't go in and do surgery. Wow, that's great. And he says, or it could just be a simple infection, in which case we just try and give him some antibiotics and wait for it to calm down. And so we prayed. We wanted it to be just an infection. Neither of the other two options sounded very fun. But we prayed, and we received huge blessings. I tell you, that night, as I came home from the doctors, I don't think we told anyone, but Christmas was coming. And that night, we got a knock on the door. And I went to the door, and nobody was there, but there was some chocolates on our porch. I'm pretty sure it was chocolates. Because it was just a treat. It was just a simple act. Somebody, something you could buy at the store for a couple bucks. Somebody left, and they left a note on it saying that this was going to be the first day of the 12 days of Christmas. And it was Hershey's Kisses, I remember. And I remember just being so impacted by that. Because I'm not a big fan of chocolate. It didn't mean a lot to me to have chocolates, but what meant a lot to me was the thought. And I remember at that moment, all of the emotions of the day just came pouring in on me. I had been so strung up with pressures and worries about my son, about whether it's cancer or if he's going to have surgery, and all these things. It just all came out, and I just started bawling my eyes out over a simple kind gesture, knowing that somebody out there cared for my family. It was amazing. It was amazing. I felt like it was a miracle just to have that at that moment. Whoever gave that to us, I seriously doubt that they had any idea of the kind of emotions we were going through, the kind of struggles had gone through that day. It ended up being just an infection, and it cleared up within a couple days. We gave him antibiotics, and he was fine. But it was scary there for a time. Also, as we started on this journey towards prosperity, we made some pretty tough decisions. We walked away from some money that we didn't feel was just, that we didn't feel was principled. Something in the order of a couple $1,000 a month. Okay? Without that money, we couldn't afford rent anymore. But we felt it was right. Principles and morals, those, like, whenever you're going to look into make money, do you ask that question first? Is it moral? You know, that's what stops you from going to rob a bank or something like that. Is it moral? Anyway, so we decided that it wasn't moral, and we had to give up that money. Some of it we weren't taking. It was an opportunity, and we said no, and so we weren't receiving. And that was hard because we were like, okay, how were we? There was some money that we were receiving that we decided to give up. But we were like, okay, now what? And we just prayed to the Lord, and I tell you that my wife and I, we both felt peace, even knowing we didn't know where the money was going to come from for rent. And it was like a month or two went by, and we felt the peace. We didn't feel overly worried. Something was going to happen. But it wasn't happening yet. And it was just an amazing feeling, because when we would talk about it, we felt very happy. We felt very grateful. And then my friend called me, and he offered me a job, and I would have to move 3 hours away from Orem down to Cedar City. It was about a 3-hour drive. And he offered me a moving bonus. We're still recording. He offered me a moving bonus. And that moving bonus was enough to take care of some of the debts that we'd been racking up, because we didn't have that money flowing anymore. And it was a great blessing. Moving was still hard because we spent a lot of that bonus on other things, on debt. And so, but the blessings came. We moved into this blue trailer that it was a 1971 trailer. It hadn't been lived in several years. Animals had come in underneath and destroyed the insulation. The roof leaked. Just had all of these problems. And it was hard to live in. But again, we felt very blessed because we never got sick. I mean, a little cough or something, but never like sick, like worried and had to run to the doctor and kind of thing. We felt it was certainly hard, and we were cold at times. We were living there during the winter, and sometimes our electric bill was $500 because we had a couple of electric heaters that we were running. But we felt very blessed. And then at a time we said, okay, Heavenly Father, we've had enough. We believe that you can help us. Please. And we were able apartment. We didn't have any kind of deposit on the old other place. And so we had to now come up with a deposit in order to move and start renting in this new place. And it was hard, but we did it. The Lord blessed us to be able to accomplish that. Anyway, I wanted to share some of my thoughts and make sure that, number one, that I didn't forget about the blessings that the Lord had given me. And number two, that I shared those blessings with others. Because those blessings weren't just for me. Those blessings were a testimony for me to be able to share with others. Anyway, I wanted to share that message before I went to bed tonight. And so thank you for listening. And don't forget the Lord. Recognize the actions in your life, his actions in your life, and you will see it. Count your blessings, as the song goes. Because he loves you. I guarantee you he does. You look around, even in the hard times, you can see him watching out for you. All right. That's all I wanted to share tonight. Thank you. Like this video, or subscribe, or leave a comment, or all three. It'd be a great help. Okay. Thank you. Good night.